Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita Introduction Essay Thematic Study, along with philosophical terms and concepts. Just give me a minute, please. So, we have been this thematic. We are studying the introduction essay thematically, you can say, and we have come to uh, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth uh, section, the fifth theme between paragraphs 30 to 47. And we began with this, what is the result of understanding the Bhagavad Gita? You know, So Arjuna's example is given. Ishopanishads, how one should utilize everything. We spoke about the concept of attitude towards the world. Karmis enjoying, they eugalize the word. Gyanis, they demonize because it's the world of entanglement. Bhaktas utilize engagement. So we saw these attitudes. So because Prabhupada is presenting the Bhakti Vega Yug, he speaks about utilizing. And then, the importance, that one should not be in ignorance, but one should go back to Godhead. So this is the result of understanding. The Jiva is eternal, the Lord is eternal, and the dharma between the Jiva and the Lord is eternal dharma, which is called as the Sanatana dharma, or the Nitya dharma, or the Jaiva dharma. Any other dharma will be Naimitic dharma. Last week I mentioned this. And then we saw this. It is the eternal function of the eternal living entities in relationship with the eternal Sura. So the Nitya Dharma or the Jaiva Dharma. So Prabhupada in detail goes into this understanding of the Sanatan Dharma. And the word dharma comes from the root word dhri dhatu. Prabhupada is going to explain that. And then the living entity is neither born nor dies. It is internal, indestructible, and continues to live after the destruction of the temporary material body. Prabhupada is referring here, specifically, he is referring in this statement, BG 2.20. So, in that context, we discussed verse 2.20 and especially Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary, because the six changes. His whole commentary is based on the Shad Vikar, how the Jiva doesn't undergo the Shad Vikar. So we discussed that in the last class. Uh, and then we were supposed to begin from here, Sanatan Goswami, but I'll just complete this. In reference to the context of Sanatan Dharma, we must try to understand the concept of religion from the Sanskrit root meaning of the word. So the concept. So what we have been doing also is that as we are studying this essay, we are understanding many concepts. So let us now see, as we are going through this journey of the introduction thematic study, how many concepts we have studied up till now. Let us see who will answer. Which all concepts? Try to go systematically again. How many concepts we have studied up till now? Who will answer? How many concepts we have studied up till now as we are studying this introduction essay? Yes, Prabhus, I am sure all of you who are here in this online group have been regularly attending these classes. So, which all concepts you have studied up till now? Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh.
It's actually okay. I got it. I don't remember the exact sequence. Uh,
At least tell few, randomly at least. Okay.
uh,
What is the first concept we studied in the introduction essay? Let's not go to the preface.
One we studied about that Shruti, Smriti, and Nyay Prasthan. Shruti Prasthan.
No, I am not brought out at all in my whole discussion about Smriti and Nyaya Prasthan at all.
Yeah,
Prasthanatraya.
initial. Yeah, it was there, Prabji. Initial discussions. I think maybe you are as yeah. This may be taken in the preface part.
Ah,
Hmm.
a little bit I touched
Then
on that. No,
yeah. Then we
but
studied about
concept.
Panchanga Nyaya.
Panchangana is one concept. Before that,
uh, Mood of like Bhagavad Gita.
yeah, that is mood of Bhagavad Gita. That is regarding what is the theme there. That is not a concept there. Yeah, we discussed the concept of mood from the Bhakti
Hmm.
Rasamrita. Yes, excellent. So you're going now systematically from the preface mood,
Yeah, mood of Bhagavad Gita.
the mood of the Acharya,
Mood of the Acharya. Hmm.
uh, and
Then
the concept of the mood from Bhakti Rasamrita we studied. Yes,
yeah.
anyone else? Shubha Ikshan Krishnoji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, something related to linga, something we discussed, Prabhu, but I'm not sure. I'm so
After
sorry.
after spending one full class, something about linga you're saying.
I didn't prepare notes, Prabhu, this time.
Uh, well, we need not prepare notes. I'm sharing the slides, everything. Of course, I have to share. Some days I've not shared, but I will share today the whole up till now. Yes, Bir Krishnoji, what concept we have studied?
Hare Krishna Bodhan Prabhu.
Hmm.
Prabhu, in introduction, we started with Vastu Nirdesh, Namaskar, Ashirvad, concept of
What is that
Mangalacharan.
concept? Concept of Mangalacharan.
Then followed by five topics of Panchanga Nyaya, and then
Panchangana,
Sambandh.
Upanishads, what the
Yeah,
Upanishads deal with. Yeah,
yes.
then?
And then three subject matter Sambandha Videha Prayojan. That
Yeah, concept of Sambandha, Vidya and Prayojan, yes.
and then Ishwar Jeev and Jagat.
Tattvatraya. All
Tattvatraya.
this will come in Panchangana only.
Yes, and then Tatpara
Yeah,
Linga
all three.
we studied. Tatpara Linga,
Tatparilingas, how to
and
understand the meaning of a book, meaning of a verse by
yes,
this.
there were
Tat-
six characteristics of Tatpara Linga
yes. Okay, no, don't
from
go into the details now. Just
mhm.
give me the title of the concept.
And afterwards we went into uh, okay, just afterwards little bit about Guru, the Guru's
No, no,
quality.
no. Please understand. I am just saying, please fix yourself to what new concepts you studied with while studying the introduction essay. The concept
And
of Tatparilinga, the concept of Panchangana, the concept of
yes,
what? Stages of education.
stages of education. Yeah, yes,
Based
Prabhu.
on what? Based on three
Uh,
things,
Based on three things.
three different ways.
Uh, it was
Pranipata Pariprashna Sevaya.
pari,
And
yes,
based on
Prabhu.
Svetasana Upanishad, Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasana, based on Patanjali Sutras, Aditi Bodh, Achara, and Prachar.
Yes.
Yes, see, these are all philosophical definitions. So we studied about the mood, understanding the concept of mood in the preface, because two paragraphs spoke about mood. In the mission, at the end, we studied the concept of I and Deha, Dehi, Veda Tattva, and the concept of subject and object based on don't stand on the Gita, just understand the Gita. So these were the ones we studied in the preface. In the introduction, first we studied the concept of Mangalacharan. And then we studied after Mangalacharan the Panchangana, within which comes Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan and the Tattvatraya. They all come within it. And then application of it, we saw the application. And then concept of Tatparalingas and application of that. Tatparalingas was quite exhaustive. And we saw the examples. And then after that, stages of education. 3-point balance in learning, 3 stages of education, 4 stages of education. We studied that. And then after that, we came to the uh, concept of the absolute truth, definition of the absolute truth based on tattva. Of course, this is an additional topic. It's not a concept on the 5 subjects of the Gita, Baldev devotions. And then 3 kinds of proof, Pratyaksha, Anuman, and Shabda. With one aspect we studied, how that which agrees with Pratyaksha and Anuman, we use it. Even if it disagrees, we still have faith in Shabda. That's what we discussed. And the 4 progressive defects, this concept we studied. And attitude towards the world. This is also a concept we studied. And now we are coming here, uh, this last paragraph of the 4th theme. Uh, we are here. So the concept of dharma, Prabhupada is now taking. Of course, I have not made separate slide. Here only Prabhupada gives this whole concept. You know, Dharma refers to that which is constantly existing with a particular object. So this is a definition. Prabhupada doesn't go into the Sanskrit, dhri dhatu, that which sustains or that which exists with an object. So Prabhupada directly gives a understanding of the dharma, concept of dharma. And this in one sense is a definition, what is dharma. We conclude that there is heat and light along with fire. Without heat and light, there is no meaning to the word fire. So we discussed this paragraph, but I'm just similarly, we must discover the essential part of the living entity, that part which is his constant companion. That constant companion is his eternal quality, and that eternal quality is his eternal religion. So what is that eternal quality that is the constant companion of the jiva, by which it's the eternal quality, and that's the Sanatana Dharma. What is it? Anyone knows? What is it? Just like the dharma of water is liquidity. So that is a dharma of water. So similarly, what is the eternal quality of the jiva? Yes, Shubha Ikshan Krish Prabhuji.
प्रभु जीवेर स्वरूप होय कृष्ण नित्य दास सर्विस एटीट्यूड
Service. Yes, very good. Yeah, now Prabhupada, that's why connects now where this has been discussed in the Sanatan Shiksha. When Sanatan Goswami asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the Swarupa of every living being, the Lord replied that the Swarupa constitutional position of the living being is rendering service to the Supreme Personality of God. So rendering service is the constant quality of the Jiva, and only when it renders service to the Supreme Personality of God, then it is performing Dharma. If it is performing dharma based on sabhava or so many other dharmas, then that is not the nitya dharma, it is the naimittik dharma. If we analyze the statement of Lord Chaitanya, we can easily see that every living being is constantly engaged in rendering service to another living being. A living being serves other living beings in various capacities. By doing so, the living entity enjoys life. The lower animals serve human beings as servants serve their master. A serves B master, B serves C master, and C serves D master, and so on. Under these circumstances, we can see that one friend serves another friend, the mother serves the son, the wife serves the husband serves the wife, and so on. If we go on searching in the spirit, it will be seen that there is no exception in the society of living beings in the activity of service. Somebody might say, no, I'm the boss of the company, like Bill Gates, I just order everyone and they serve me. I don't serve anyone. But ultimately, you're the servant of your senses. So you serve your senses. So everyone is under the dictation of the senses and the mind. So you're a devout servant of your senses and the mind. Hmm? The politician presents his manifesto for the public to convince them of his capacity for service. The voters therefore give the politician the valuable votes, thinking that he will render valuable service to society. The shopkeeper serves the customer and the artisan serves the capitalist. The capitalist serves the family and the family serves the state in terms of the eternal capacity of the living being. in this way, we can see that no living entity is exempt from rendering service to other living beings. And therefore, we can safely conclude that service is the constant companion of the living being and that the rendering of service is the eternal religion of the living being. So this is how Prabhupada gives this example. He makes the point, he, you know, he gives a preposition here, a preposition or a Siddhantic statement, and then with examples, he proves it. And through Shastric reference. This is a Shastric reference and by example here. So this is, you can see that here, this is a reference Prabhupada gives. And from here onwards, he gives the same thing, examples. So any principle, preposition or a principle you can see. And then all these examples are till, and then in this way, then he concludes and proves his preposition, you know. Now, after mentioning the Sanatana Dharma, Prabhupada, other misconceptions he refutes. Yet man professes to belong to a particular type of faith with reference to a particular time and circumstances, and thus claims to be a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or an adherent of any other sect. In fact, this word Hindu is nowhere found in the Vedas. Actually, the invaders, the Mughals, who crossed the river Sindhu and entered India, this is Bharatvarsha. So they were crossing, and those who were staying on the other side of Sindhu, they were called as Sindhus, but later on they started pronouncing as Hindus, and that's how Hindu came. There's nowhere in the Vedas you'll find this word Hindu. The Vedas refer to Varnashram Dharma or Sanatan Dharma. Such designations are non-Sanatan Dharma. A Hindu may change his faith to become a Muslim may change his faith to become a Hindu, or a Christian may change his faith, and so on. But in all circumstances, the change of religious faith does not affect the eternal occupation of the rendering service to others. So, although he might change, but still he continues to render service. The Hindu, Muslim, or Christian are in all circumstances the servant of someone. So you will be, this continues. You might change externally your faith. Thus, to profess a particular type of faith is not to profess one Sanatan Dharma. The rendering of service is Sanatan Dharma. Factually, we are related to the Supreme Lord in service. So now Prabhupada is explaining how Sanatan Dharma has to be executed in relation to the Lord. The Supreme Lord is the supreme enjoyer, and we living entities are his servitors. We are created for his enjoyment. So this you have to very nicely and clearly understand. We have created for his enjoyment. And if we participate in that eternal enjoyment with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we become happy. Now, happiness is now a big topic in the world outside. Now, what is the secret of happiness? How we can become happy? Let us see from this statement who will answer. What is the secret of happiness? Who will answer? Bir Krish Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, by serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes, then what happens?
By that, uh, we get reciprocation, and by that reciprocation we get happiness.
Yeah, you're true, but I want to more clarity in the answer. By serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what happens? Yes, Prabhuji.
by serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prabhu, actually by service, by even uh, um, in whatever sense when we perform service, we find a kind of rasa, and that's a source of
No,
happiness.
see, no, let's not, let's stick to the statement of Prabhupada.
Uh,
How
that's
can
what
we become happy?
but when we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we get the supreme bliss. We get the supreme
No.
bliss.
First, what happens when you serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What happens?
When we serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then God become happy,
That is the point.
and then
Yeah.
then it
And
comes,
seeing
it
God
gets reflected.
happy,
Yes,
we
yes,
become happy.
yes, yes, yes.
Why we become happy?
Because we are part and parcel of God. If He is
That is
happy,
the
then we
point.
are happy.
That is the point.
Yes, yes, yes.
So the secret to happiness is make Krishna happy and automatically you'll become happy.
Yes, yes,
But
yes, yes.
here in this world, we are trying to become happy by enjoying our own senses. But when we give enjoyment to Krishna senses, we naturally feel enjoyment. We become happy. We cannot become happy otherwise. This we have to drill it in our heads. No other way we can become happy. Yenatma suprasati. It is not possible to become happy independently, just as no one part of the body can be happy without cooperating with the stomach. So, proper now, to prove this, he is now giving the example of the stomach. It is not possible for the living entity to be happy without rendering transcendental service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here is again a profound statement. In the Bhagavad Gita, worship of the different demigods or rendering service to them is not approved. So now, okay, rendering service has to be done to the Supreme Lord. Why not do to the Devatas to become happy? No, it is not approved. Only to the Supreme Personality Godhead. And then even demigods it is not approved. And Prabhupada quotes this 720. Kamastaistairutakjnana prapadyantanya devata tam tam niyamam astaya prakritya niyata swaya. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures. Here it is plainly said that those who are directed by lust worship the demigods and not the Supreme Lord Krishna. So only in relation to satisfying the senses of Krishna, it is prem. Otherwise, satisfying our senses or any other senses, satisfying the wife senses or the children's senses or the any other living being, including the devtas, is not prem, but it is calm. It is calm. Even worship of the devtas is calm. And the word has come here, kamastesya jnana. That's why, because of kama, they worship these devtas. So it's not prem. So you'll not be happy. When we mention the name Krishna, we do not refer to any sectarian name. Krishna means the highest pleasure, and it is confirmed that the Supreme Lord is a reservoir, a storer of all pleasure. So again, if you go to the Sanskrit root meaning of Krish and Na, you'll get this understanding. But right now, I don't recollect. But we'll not go into it. We are all hankering for pleasure. Anandamayo bhyasat. The living entities like the Lord are full of consciousness and they are after happiness. So that is naturally what we are seeking. Everyone is seeking happiness. All our endeavors are to seek happiness, but we are seeking happiness in the wrong object here and in the wrong place. That's why we only get suffering. The Lord is perpetually happy. And if the living entities associate with the Lord, cooperate with Him, and take part in His association, then they also become. And the Lord is always happy. The Lord descends to this mortal world to show His pastimes and them, which are full of happiness. When Lord Krishna was in Vrindavan, his activities with his cowherd boyfriends, with his damsel friends, and with other inhabitants of Vrindavan and with the cows were all full of happiness. Kevala Ananda Kanda. The total population of Vrindavan knew nothing but Krishna. But Lord Krishna even discouraged his father Nand Maharaj from worshipping the demigod Indra because he wanted to establish the fact that people need not worship any demigod. They need only worship the Supreme Lord because their ultimate goal is to return to his abode. Now, Prabhupada, because the result, is to ultimately attain the Lord, na? So he just came to the point of now Lord Krishna's abode. The abode of Lord Krishna is described in the Bhagavad Gita 15, chapter 6th verse. न तद्भासते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावक यद गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. That supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by the fire or electricity. Those who reach it will never return to this material world. This verse gives a description of that eternal sky. Of course, we have a material conception of the sky and we think of it in relation to sun, moon, stars, and so on. See, you see, again, Prabhupada is speaking about conception. So, until our concepts are very clear, then understanding Bhagavad Gita is not easy. But in this verse, the Lord states that the eternal sky, there is no need of sun or for the moon or electricity or fire or any kind because the spiritual skies are already illuminated by the Brahma Jyoti, the rays emanating from the Supreme Lord. So just the Kanti of the Lord is, fully effulgent and radiating the entire Golok Vrindavan and the Vaikuntha planets. So there is no need of sun, moon. And this Brahma Jyoti, the light even in this material world of the sun, moon, stars, is actually a reflection coming from the Brahma Jyoti to the sun, and sun in thereby sun's reflection to the moon and all the stars. So that's why everything is illuminated by the Brahma Jyoti. We are trying with difficulty to reach other planets, but it is not difficult to understand the abode of the Supreme Lord. There's so much difficulty to reach other planets. You know how much difficulty? Millions and millions and millions and trillions of dollars you have to spend for a spaceship. But just spend 300 rupees and study the Bhagavad Gita and take Bhagavatam, 6,000 or 8,000 rupees now, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, which must be around 4,000 or 5,000. When you take during marathon, it's still cheaper. Discount is there. With that, you can go back to the spiritual world eternally. Just think about it. If you want to go to America, also you have to spend for the flight 1 lakh rupees. But you can go to Golok Vrindavan just if you spend 10,000 rupees, not 10, around 15,000 rupees. You won't get a ticket for America for 15,000 rupees. So without difficulty, it's not difficult. This abode is referred to as Golok in Brahma Samhita. It is beautifully described. Golok eva nivasati akilatma bhuta. The Lord resides eternally in his. Uh, 1 second. Started the recording. No? Yeah. The Lord resides eternally in his abode, Goloka, yet he can be approached from this world. And to this end, the Lord comes to manifest his real form, Satchitananda Vigraha. Golok residing, but he is approached because he is immanent everywhere in this world. When he manifests this form, there is no need of our imagination what he looks like. To discourage such imaginative speculation, he descends and exhibits himself as he is, as
No voice, Prabhu.
Prabhuji is not present.
Thought again this problem. I'm connected to a tethering process because the Wi-Fi is not working here. But I hope it's clear. So he's present. He shows his real form. And these pastimes are replicas of pastimes found in him. In the effulgence rays of the spiritual sky, there are innumerable planets floating. These are spiritual planets. The Brahmajyoti emanates from the spiritual abode Golokrishna, and the Anandamaya Chinmaya planets, which are not material, float in those rays. I was speaking about that again. The Lord says, Na tad bhasite suro no shashanko na pavaka yad gatva nivartante tad dhama parama mama. So this is the result of understanding the Bhagavad Gita, that you will go to the Lord's abode. One who can approach that spiritual sky is not required to descend again to the material sky. In the material sky, even if we approach the highest planet, Brahmaloka, what to speak of the moon, we will find the same conditions of birth, death, old age, and disease. A Brahma Bhuvana Loka, Punaravritano Arjuna. No planet in the material universe is free from these four principles of material existence: birth, death, old age, and disease. The living entities are traveling from one planet to another, one Brahman to another Brahman, one species to another. But it is not that we can go to any planet we like merely by mechanical arrangement. If we desire to go to other planets, there is a process for going there. This is also mentioned. Yanti Deva Vratan Devan Pitrin Yanti Pitra Vrata. No mechanical arrangement is necessary if we want interplanetary travel. The Gita instructs Yanti Deva Vratan Devan. The moon, the sun, the higher planets are called Swargaloka. There are three different statuses of planets: higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. The Earth belongs to the middle planetary systems. Bhagavad Gita informs us how to travel to the higher planetary systems, Devaloka, with a very simple formula: Yanti Deva Vratan Devan. So, what is the simple formula if you want to go to Devalok? What is the formula? Let us see who will answer. What is the formula to go to the heavenly planets? Devalok. Govinda Nandini Mataji.
Worship a particular demigod.
Yes, simple. And if you want to go to hellish planets,
Worship those the deities
yakshas
of
and
those. Yes,
rakshasas, right?
yes.
So simple is the formula. One need only worship the particular demigod of that particular planet. In this way, go to the moon, the sun, or any other higher planet system. Yet, Bhagavad Gita does not advise us to go to any of the planets in the material world. And Krishna established that in the Gita many places. Because even if you go to Brahmaloka, the highest planet, through some sort of mechanical contrivancy, and maybe traveling for 40,000 years, and who would live that long? We will still find the material inconveniences of birth, death, old age, and disease. But if one wants to approach the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, or any other planets within the spiritual sky, they will not meet with these material inconveniences. So, see how easy is this process. Amongst all the planets in the spiritual sky, there is one supreme planet called Golok Vrindavan, which is the original planet in the abode of the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All of this information is given in Bhagavad Gita, and we are given through its instruction information how to leave the material world and begin a truly blissful life in the spiritual sky. Now, Prabhupada quotes the 15th chapter. In the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the real picture of the material world is given. It is said there, Urdhva Mula Madashakam Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastvam Veda Saveda Ved. Here the material world is described as a tree whose roots are upwards and branches are below. Urdhva Mula Adha Shaka. You know, generally it is Adha Shaka, Urdhva, sorry, not Adha Shaka, Adha Mula, Urdhva Shaka. But material world is opposite. We have experience of a tree whose roots are upward. If one stands on the bank of the river or any reservoir of water, he can see that the tree is reflected in the water upside down. So we can have this experience. So this material world is like that. The branches go downwards and the roots upwards. Similarly, this material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. The material world is a shadow of reality. In the shadow, there is no reality or substantiality, but from the shadow, we can understand that there is substance and reality. So we don't try to enjoy the shadow, but recognize that, you try to, in the reflection that is in the water body, you try to go and catch the mango. You'll never get the mango because the real mango is there on the tree. But the problem is you're looking in the reflection. So the root cause of our suffering is that we are trying to find happiness in this material world. As long as we don't give up that desire, even to become fixed in Krishna consciousness is not easy. If we have this desire, that somehow we feel that, I will be able to little bit enjoy in this world. There is no enjoyment. It's only misery it is filled. Dukkhalayam, ashashvatam. We have to become deeply convinced in our heart about this. In the desert, there is no water. But the mirage suggests that there is such a thing as water. In the material world, there is no water. There is no happiness. See, I spoke and Prabhupada is saying. But the real water or of actual happiness is there in the spiritual world. There is no happiness. So this we should be deeply convinced about it. So this is what Prabhupada says. Now, in the next theme, 48 to 60, it's also not so big. One thing. Now, after now giving the prayojan, now he comes to the Abhideya again. He comes to the Abhideya and then he concludes. Okay. So this is 7 o'clock, but I will take up questions. If you have any questions now, I will take it up. We need another 1 or 2 classes to complete this. Yeah. Maybe tomorrow's class we'll be able to complete it. But any questions you have now, let us take up. One question, Bir Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, when we see here कि this material world is not real, no reality. Prabhupada writes, na, it's a shadow and it's not
Material
real.
world, yeah. Okay, come. Go
So,
ahead.
so Prabhu, if it is not real, it is just shadow, and it is a reflection of the actual spiritual world. And uh, can we say, is it because of shadow that whatever little happiness we derive in so-called
That is also
interaction of
illusionary.
senses and
No, the happiness what we derive, it is an illusion.
it's illusion. Yes,
It is an
yes.
illusion. It is the mind which is feeling that, oh, I'm happy,
Mhm.
oh, I'm sad, it's all the play of the mind.
So,
The
Prabhu,
mind,
my question is ki, uh, how I mean, how do we how do we differentiate between actually spiritual emotions and material emotion? How, what is the thin line?
yes. Yes, it's a matter of experience, and we all come into Krishna consciousness. Ah, we will come to know about it.
Mhm.
We have experienced a glimpse, a faint glimpse of some spiritual happiness, and that's why we are all sticking on to Krishna consciousness, and we know that this is reality. And we have all experienced the happiness of this material world, and we have experienced that this leads to misery. It is, it is, it is flickering,
Yes,
and
that's
there
very
is
clear.
no
That's
harm.
clear.
So that is why we are sticking to Krishna consciousness. So that experience Krishna gives us. No?
Right.
Okay. So by that we can understand.
Based on our purification.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
right. Right.
Yes. Super Ikshana Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, very, very fundamental question that we keep reading Prabhupada books. We keep hearing that we are not this body, we are a soul. Prabhu, but why doesn't we sync with it in all our thoughts and actions? Is it due to aparad? Is it due to our
Because because
conditioning?
because of the cloud, heavy cloud of anartha, you know, and because of their conditioning for many, many lifetimes. So we have to sincerely practice and sincerely endeavor. We have to become sincere and we have to become serious. You know, Abhyas and Vairagya. Abhyas here is only to practice Krishna consciousness. Vairagya automatically comes up. No? So if we are on the superficial platform, then we are just tossing in the waves and we'll get carried away. But really we have to dive deep and then we can. So the only thing is sincerity and seriousness in the practice. And if we are sincere, Krishna will help us, Krishna will guide us, and gradually the deep-rooted disease will slowly, slowly start coming down. And you have to bona fidely accept the process in the Guru Shish Parampara. Most important, following the instructions of the Acharyas, the spiritual master. We have to understand the diseases deep-rooted. Just to give an example, especially in Ayurveda, it is said that skin diseases are very deep-rooted. Once they manifest, it takes years of medication, to go to the root and destroy the disease and to purify the blood. So the key to become free from the disease is to regularly take the medicine and follow the diet. Similarly, our disease of avidya is from millions and millions of lifetimes. We don't know. It is anadi, but it can come to an end if we take the medicine in the form of chanting the holy names very attentively and following the regulatory principles, do's and don'ts. So if we stick on to that, following the instructions of the spiritual master, as Prabhupada in the NOA recommends. But if one takes to Krishna consciousness by following the four regulative principles, one can immediately surpass all other processes and control these urges. So it's a very important thing that we have to understand that following the instructions, Ado Guru Padashraya, Krishna Sikshadi, Dikshadi Shikshanam, Vishrambena Guru Seva, all these factors, when they are done with sincerity, with seriousness, definitely the results will start coming over a period of time. Adarat Anudinam. Adar means with great respect, we should take the holy name, understanding that the Lord is present in the holy name and my attention will not go. And every day you have to take the medicine. Yes, Subhakshan Krish Prabhuji.
So, Prabhuji, in this, then Sadhu Sangha plays a very big role to be serious and to be sincere, because what we see to the senior
Not very big
devotees.
role. Without the association of sadhu, you cannot begin your bhakti.
Exactly.
Bhakti is we attain by the mercy of the sadhu only.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yeah. Sadhu means you have to also understand. Sadhu means pure devotee of the Lord, who is a Bhagavad, Madhyam Bhagavad at least. according to Bhagavad definition. Maitri, Prem, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. Yah karoti sa madhyama. That is the definition. And in Madhuri Kadamni also established that. Okay, so I will take a few paragraphs from the next section and we'll continue that and complete this. We have, I think we'll require 2 classes for this now. The process given by in the Bhagavad Gita for attaining the abode of the Lord. Now, this is a very important discussion, and I'll only take this uh, one theme within this section, in this one verse explanation, and then stop because I don't want to go to the next one. The Lord suggests that we attain the spiritual world in the following manner. Bhagavad Gita 15:5. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandeir vimukta sukha dukkha sange gacchantyamuda padam avyayam tat. That Padam Avyam, eternal kingdom, can be reached by one who is Nirmana Moha. What does this mean? Now, each of these terms Prabhupada explains. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in 7.14 states that Devi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Durataya Mameva Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. Now, one who surrenders, Maya is very strong, and we might speak so much about Maya, but what is the process to surpass the Maya? Mam eva. You have to surrender to me alone and not to demigods anything. Prapadyante Maya Meta. You will easily cross Maya. So, the process of attaining the Lord or surpassing Maya is very simple. We have to surrender to Krishna. Now, how do you know that one is surrendered to Krishna? Let us see. What are the symptoms by which you can understand that one is surrendered to Krishna? Anyone? Anyone would like to try? Shubha Ikshana Krishna Prabhuji. Yes.
Prabhu, by our level of Sharanagati, that how much
That
we.
is what, can you measure, can you have some scale and understand, oh, this person has 30% Sharanagati. That person, is there anywhere externally you can measure this? So difficult it is.
Yes.
So what is, yes, Bir Krishna Prabhuji.
Prabhu, we can see to the degree by which we are still attached with our material engagements. That could be one of the parameter.
The
I mean, as
parameters
long,
are here.
uh,
If you
I
have
mean,
these 5 things, you can understand that you are surrendered. First is Nirmana. Nirmana means we are after designation. Someone wants to be sir, someone wants to become lord, someone wants to become the president or a rich man or a king or someone else. So if you are after these things, that means you are not Nirmana. As long as we are attached to these designations, we are attached to the body, but designations belong to the body. But we are not these bodies, and realizing this is the first stage in spiritual realization. Prabhupada is saying we have to realize that we are nothing to do with these designations. I'm an engineer, doctor, husband, wife. I am spirit soul. This we should get convinced theoretically first, and then that realization should happen. And then we are associated with the 3 modes of material nature, but we must become detached through devotional service of the Lord. So you can see Jitta Sangha Dosha, no associating with the modes. That is the second sign of surrender. If we are not attached to devotional service of the Lord, then we become detached from the modes of material nature. If we are not attached to, then we cannot become detached from the modes of material nature. I was surprised, okay. Designations and attachments are due to our lust and desire, our wanting to lord it over material nature. So if you have this, desire to lord it over material nature, then, you're not surrendered. As long as we do not give up this propensity of lording over material nature, there is no possibility of returning to the kingdom of the Supreme, the Sanatana Dharma. Prabhupada is saying no possibility. We are chanting Hare Krishna, we are attached to home, attached to family, and if we think that just chanting like this will go back to Godhead, no, we have to be fully detached and completely attached to the holy name and Krishna. That eternal kingdom which is never destroyed can be approached by one who is not bewildered by the attractions of false material enjoyments, who is situated in the service of the Supreme Lord. One so situated can easily approach that Supreme Lord abode. So Prabhupada is here now. He is speaking about Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kama and Dvander Vimukta Sukha Dukkha Sangya. He is not attached to happiness, distress. Oh, today is very hot. Moment you speak about the climate, that means you're affected. Sukha and Dukkha Sangya. This is what is keeping you in this material world. And you talk about it. So that's how, subtle it can be. Whatever situation you're putting, Krishna has put me in this. It's for my purification. You have to understand. And be tolerant. So only such a person situated like this can easily approach. So this is the way you can understand. And then he speaks about that abode. At abode of the Lord. Okay, it is okay, I'll finish till here. Then okay, yeah. I'll So this is connected. Elsewhere in the Gita, it is said, Avyakto shara iti uktah tamahu paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Avyakta means unmanifested. Not even all the material world is manifested before us. Manifest means that is not within the purview of our senses. We cannot see with our senses, some planets which are there in this universe. But the spiritual sky is not manifest to our senses, and nor we can see because we don't have spiritual vision. We have Our senses are so imperfect that we cannot even see all the stars within this material universe. In Vedic literature, we receive much information about all the planets, and we can believe it or not believe it. All of the important planets are described in the Vedic literature, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, and the spiritual world, which is beyond this material sky, is described as Avyakta. Just imagine what a fortune we have. We study the Bhagavatam, and where all is the description of the spiritual world? Let us see who will answer, who has studied the Bhagavatam. Where all is the description of the spiritual world? Directly described. Where it is described. I hope devotees have been studying Bhagavatam regularly. Chakrama Prabhuji,
Sorry.
where it is described in the Bhagavatam. Where it is described, Prabhuji?
Unable to collect.
Unable to recollect. Shubha Ikshana Krish Prabhuji, where it is described.
Prabhu, second canto briefly, but Vedic cosmology is in.
No, Vedic cosmology has to do with the material world, not the spiritual world.
Yes, Prabhu. Then second canto, Prabhu.
Second canto where?
That I don't remember. Sorry.
Veer Krish Prabhuji. Veer Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Where is the spiritual world described in the Bhagavatam?
it's
It's very famous pastime. In the second canto, as Shubha Ikshan Krish Prabhu mentioned, there is the Ekpad, Tripad Vibhuti, Brahma Narad Samvad. But in the next few chapters, Brahma visits, has the darshan of Mahavaikuntha. Entire description of the Mahavaikuntha is there. And in the third canto is famous, the four Kumaras were stopped by the gatekeepers when they entered Vaikuntha. So there it is described. And then the entire 10th canto, which is Vrindavan, is the spiritual world. So that 10th canto is there, like that. So many places it is described in the Bhagavatam. One should desire and hanker after that spirit supreme kingdom. One should hanker, for when one attains that kingdom, he does not have to return to this material world. Now, approaching the abode of the Supreme Lord is the last theme which Prabhupada speaks. Very, very important theme. This we will take up in the next class. So we will stop here. It's exactly 7:20. We started at 7:20. So any questions, any clarifications you have up till now what we discussed? Any questions or clarifications? Yes, Devkish Prabhuji. Yes.
Prabhu, theoretically, when we understand that detachment from material engagement, it is the prerequisite to advance in spiritual practice.
Mhm.
So, though we understand theoretically, Prabhu, but practically, does it mean that uh, uh, at a time, matlab, you have to leave everything and
No, no,
you
no.
have to
Your
something
first
like
of
that?
all, that at the root, the understanding has to be very clear. Bhakti, to take up to bhakti, you don't need jnana and vairagya, which are the limbs of.
That's okay, Prabhu. That's
No,
but
no,
again,
no. Let me complete. Let me
mm,
complete. So, with the practice of bhakti, gradually there is detachment which comes.
my point is that only when that detachment come, in what form it manifests.
It manifests in the form of deep attachment to Krishna.
Mhm.
And you might be having home, you might be having family, you might be having children, but you do all these duties very neutrally and not with attachment for that. That requires, it's a great art to do activities without, attachment. But when that
Right.
attachment to Krishna comes in the heart, naturally there is detachment, and detached actions is a real art in bhakti. In karma yoga also, and bhakti also. So then we start making advancement in bhakti. Are you getting this point?
Yes, yes. So physical detachment is not a prerequisite, you mean to say?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
That detachment is in the heart.
This was a confusing point for me, Prabhu. For a long time, I was just deliberating. I mean,
Ah, it is there
what
in the
is
heart.
actually
No,
okay?
Granthi is there in the Hridaya Granthi. It is.
Yeah, so externally, I mean, it it may not manifest externally, but internally.
Yes, 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 it is.
Uh,
And you
but
cannot judge things by external also. A so-called
right.
sadhu might show a lot of detachment, but internally his heart might be attached. And so-called pound and shelling man, you might see him externally as very attached to all the opulences, but internally he might be deeply attached to Krishna. That's what happened
Right.
to Gadadhar Pandit. When Mukund took him to Pundrik Vidyanidhi. Why you got me to such a materialistic? But he said, but he could not understand the exalted quality of Pundrik Vidya. He was how deeply he was in prema with the Lord.
Oh,
So it manifests, and you can understand by the lakshanas.
but those pastimes we hear, Prabhu, it's I mean, it's kind of ki they are elevated personality, or they are part of
No,
supreme personality, Leela
even
part.
in beginning stages, you can understand.
Mm-hmm.
It requires an expert to understand.
Mm.
Okay.
Right, right, right. Well,
Okay.
thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।